Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming, and it's been a long time since I've put up a video or audio, or either one actually. But yeah, I've been sort of on a break. I moved to 40K and started playing some of that while I waited on 9th edition. Not a huge fan of 40K. Yes, it's fun. The models are cool. I am not anti 40K, but it's not fantasy, and fantasy is where my heart is. So I played that for a while. It just didn't hold my interest so much. I will continue to play it though. But yeah, the channel's still going. It's going to be up. I'm going to be having more and more videos. I'm still painting. My painting commission is still going strong. In fact, yeah, I got like probably 6 or 7 videos to put up of painting projects, and one of them was over 100 models, which is awesome. But yeah, this is mostly going to be about Age of Sigmar, and Age of Sigmar is it was rules released. The starter set hasn't come out until I guess tomorrow. Actually, at the time I'm making this recording, it'll be out tomorrow. And I have one reserved. I'm going to get it. I'm going to play it. And going to do my best to keep an open mind with it. I'm going to start this off. My first topic will be the bad. But don't take this as another rant or another rage quit, because there are good as well. And so, starting the first, I have had anger and sorrow. Sadness, I guess, not sorrow. I have been playing Warhammer for 21 years, Warhammer Fantasy for 21 years. I love the game, seen it go up and down. I remember when they did horrible things to it in the past, like after 5th edition releasing the Ravening Hordes. And oh my gosh, everybody was having a fit because they put every army into one little pamphlet. I mean, it was like 15 pages. And every magic item, every army, every rule was in this little bitty thing that they gave away with a white dwarf. And everybody had a fit. Everybody was going to stay playing 5th edition. No one was leaving. They did away with the magic box set, and everybody had a fit about that because they paid $50 for a box set, and now it's not being used anymore. And everybody just had a come apart, and the game was over, and Warhammer's dead, and Games Workshop's going to close their doors. Well, it led into 6th edition, and it was a blast. We played it for years. It was great. I love not having the magic set anymore, using dice instead of magic cards. And yeah, it's been wonderful. The sadness and everything comes from I loved the fantasy world. I love the fantasy characters. And yes, I understand for a game to progress, you have to move through time. Characters have to die, which is what I thought they were doing with End Times. But I loved it. I've got the maps. I've got them up. I've made my own maps. I've actually drawn out cities. I am a fluff, rules as intended, rules as, not a rules as written player. I'll get into them in a minute. But, rules as written is rules as intended is what I like. I like the fluff. I like the idea behind having a purpose for your battle rather than I want to win. And due to that, I loved it. Made my own characters, made their own stories, everything. Love the fluff. And then for them to destroy it, take it apart, dismantle the game, not to a level where everyone thought they were going, where characters were dying and they're going to combine armies and only have 6 factions for 9th edition. I mean, to totally destroy it, and spoiler alert, if you haven't read the end time stuff, which I mean, you'd be the last person in the world, they actually destroy the world, bust it apart, everyone's dead, except for a handful that Sigmar pulled along. What about the other guys? Why Sigmar? But, yeah, chaos wins after everything, and what a pitiful way for such an awesome history and world and fluff and story. What a rich background to be destroyed so unceremoniously, and to a point that they can't say, yeah, okay, we're undoing that. unless they do something stupid like a dream sequence. Oh yeah, Karl Franz woke up and what do you know? None of that really happened. That would be lame. It would be really dumb, but I'd still prefer it over ending the game. Um, Part of the anger that I had was I have 7 Warhammer armies, um, and planned on buying the rest of them as well. And yes, I can use them in Age of Sigmar, but not the way that I've loved all this time. I'd much rather Age of Sigmar be a new game with new models, and we go on from there. But yeah, 7 armies, and that's not 40K. That's 7 fantasy armies that I've collected. Most, a lot of them painted anyway, and that sucks. I just bought. And I know this isn't Games Workshop's fault, but I bought a 4x6 gaming mat, which was a little over $100. And I can still play on a 4x6 table, but it would be ridiculous. I have to mark off a section of it to not, don't use that half the table, I guess. It makes me angry that they continue to release armies and $45 army books all the way up until they stopped. Some of those, Wood Elves was barely a year old, maybe, and then it's just gone. So what about new players who came in, or even people who've been playing a long time and said, oh, I'm going to update my Wood Elves, and they buy this expensive army book, and then a year, maybe even less, it's gone. It's done. You can't use it. Games Workshop continued to sell 8th edition rule books, $75, $80 rule books, and starter sets. That's right. Up until the very end. So if you took your kid and you went to a Games Workshop store and you saw it on the shelf and you said, this looks like it's expensive. Hey, yeah, it's expensive, but I want to play a game with my kids. This looks like a really cool one. We'll paint the models, and you pay $150. Then you get home and open it up, and a couple months later, it's obsolete. You can't use it. And rule books garbage. You can't, nothing with that. It's infuriating. Even the end times, how misleading the end times was to release these novels, these big, massive coffee table sized books to use new rules with. Okay, Nagash got new lores of magic. Hey, that's awesome. Forget the scenarios. I make my own scenarios. But you get these new rules, and then the second one you get these new awesome models, and the third one you get all these rules with the high elf stuff. Then the fourth one they pulled some garbage and would only let you order the hardback through their own store, and that's when I quit. I said, you know what, I support my local stores, and when they can't sell it, you can only get the cheap paperback for like $5 less. I said I'm done with buying the books for now, and I quit. And I'm glad I did, because otherwise I would have spent about $220 more to find out that all that's done with now, and you can't play with any of those rules anymore. And, oh yeah, you can. Okay, but let's stay current. Let's say we're gonna follow Games Workshop, play their games. You're done with that now. You just spent $300 plus on books for your hobby and the game you love, and they're done. Okay. So yes, the anger, the frustration, sadness is there. I hate to see a mass exodus of gamers just saying, oh, we're going on to War Machine, which, don't tell me that game isn't full of holes. I mean, I watched the channels, I played War Machine, tried it, I've gone to game nights, War Machine game nights, and just watched games. And if you want to play a game where every model meets in the center of the table like a mosh, and they just beat each other until one of them kills the other one's general, which is one of the big problems with Age of Sigmar, that's what you're going to get. Now, everybody's going to argue and talk about objectives, but no, I'm telling you, personal experience, not your personal experience, mine. I've watched probably a few dozen games. I've played a few games, demo games, plus I bought some models and tried some, and watch YouTube. Your game is going to basically end up in the middle of the table where you're going to fight a little bit, and then somebody's going to slip through, kill your general, and it's over. That's not for me. I don't know if Age of Sigmar will be either, but that's not for me. War Machine's been out long enough to change it and fix it and all that, and that's just the way they want it. So, and that's not bad. It's just not for me. That's just the way they want their game. So I hate to see. I know I'm going to name some names here. I don't have permission, but whatever. Lord Tremendous burning his stuff. I think that's a little bit extreme, but Lord Tremendous has always been an attention grabber. Look at what crazy thing I'm doing today. Then he put up a second video of Death, Holy Death, and I'm not opposed to anyone saying what they think, but I think just went too far, just a little absurd. Once Bitten, who I don't agree with a lot of what he likes about the game, and I'm sort of the opposite of what he likes to play and likes to do. But he actually had a very reasonable approach to it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a chance. I have a lot of time invested in this game, and I appreciate that. I didn't even watch the Sustainable Center. I saw his cover for the game, and I didn't watch it. And then Lonehammer, he quit his podcast I saw today, and I hate that. I don't listen to it regularly, but I do sometimes. I've been on it and just enjoyed Randy. He's a cool guy. But I hate to see that he's experiencing a lot of what people who are going to try it are experiencing, and he's actually quit his podcast over it. That's a real shame. It's a shame that the reaction to a new release is so bad that people that actually want to try it feel like they're going to be ostracized and have to hide or not really hide, but cancel a channel, cancel a podcast and all this stuff to get away from the people who are going to nag them and harass them. That's a real shame that a gaming community of adults, not children, adults, will be that negative towards a person and that hateful towards a person. I hate the word hate now, but that's ridiculous. I mean, people need to grow up. But moving on, I think some of this dumbing down rules is due to the rules as written type people who move fast cav up beside a hell pit to make it march straight forward. Well, guess how you fix that? You make it on a round base where it can move 360 degrees. People who put a War Machine on the edge of their deployment zone and turn it sideways, and then turn one, pivot it forward to gain an extra inch. Well, guess how you fix that? You make it to where it's the tip of the base, the tip of the model, not the base. All this stuff, this dumbing down the rules and changing things, and the movement phase, which everyone manipulated and did like double flees and redirects and all that stuff. Guess how you get rid of that? You put everything on round bases. You make everything skirmishable. You make it to where they can move 360. You make it to where you can move out of combat if you want to. After one round of combat, you can just move off so you're not stuck anymore. You see, this is what happens when so-called competitive players start trying to manipulate the rules as intended. The only way to get out of that is to put up, I said rules as intended. When people do the rules as written, the only way to get out of that is to make it rules as intended. I put up a video with a little demo, I guess, whatever example. If you start tossing a ball back and forth, hey, this is fun, and then you say, well, now you got to bounce the ball off that entertainment center to get to your opponent. And then, well, now you got to bounce it once, make it hit that. And the more rules you add, the more chances for a lack of interpretation or difference in opinion there comes. And that's what happened. You have people saying, well, the rule says this, so you can't turn your model, and your steam tank has to do this, and you can't. And clearly not what Games Workshop intended, but that's what the rule book said, so they're going to use it against you. They're really going to stick it to you. And so next thing you know, the only way to get rid of that is to take all those rules out. And so you go from a 500-page rule book to 4 pages of rules where one of them is an opening, like, hey, hope you enjoy our game. It's an intro page. That's really, I know the legal side, and they did it. don't jump on here saying, they're money whores and that's all they wanted to do was just the legal side. There's more to it. Yeah, it's all legal. That's why they changed the name of their stuff. I understand. I know how business works, but yeah, the constant need for FAQs and the constant need for arguments and rules clarifications. Hey, just get rid of the rules. Get rid of them. Dumb the game down. Make it where a kid can understand it. And now you don't have all these rules discrepancies. Hey, the rules might be broken and easily manipulated, but maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they wanted to make it where shut up, quit whining, quit griping about our game, quit going to these tournaments and taking it like a career, and quit being so serious about it that you're going to blow up our emails with questions and negativity and you need to work on your rules writing and all that stuff. And they just say, okay, here's your really dumb version so every one of you can understand it and you can play. And you know what? If you choose to be one of those guys that breaks it by doing the dumb stuff like taking 3 dragons when your opponent's taking 30 goblins, and you can then say, whoa, you got more than 3 times the models that I do, so now I get bonuses to my 3 dragons. You're going to be one of those guys, or you're going to sit in a gash on the back table edge and raid 6 units a turn. Go play something else. That's basically what they're saying. Make this game fun, make it work, get along, and have a good time, or go play something else. And that's what everybody's doing. They're going to play something else. But enough of the bad. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to be good. The good stuff about Age of Sigmar, why I'm going to continue on with it, and why I hope you will too, and that you'll continue to follow the channel and you'll follow other channels that are going to play and do battle reports for Age of Sigmar. It can be done. I watched Luke Davis put up a bat rep of Age of Sigmar. They had a good time. They didn't take a whole bunch of cheesy crap. They didn't load it up with stupidity and, every bat rep I've seen of Age of Sigmar has been more of people trying to exploit the rules to show the game is bad rather than have a good time and play the game to see if it's fun. Everything I'm seeing is just people saying, look what you can do now, and they take something totally stupid just to gank their opponents, and it's like you could do that with 8th edition too. But anyway, I think Age of Sigmar is in its earliest stages. I mean, that's a fact. But in the early stages of very, very many stages, and I think there are going to be stages that come out rather quickly. A couple things to back that up. New armies are going to be coming out. They're completely redoing the armies and the rules. And all these new armies coming out, they're going to have new rules, that are going to introduce new rules to the game as a whole. So it's not like you got 4 pages of rules and that's it. Okay, go look through the High Elves and the Dark Elves and the Orcs and Goblins, and you're going to find rules on every one of those cards. Those rules in there don't have to be in the big 500-page rule book now because they're on individual cards. And so take the entire psychology section out of the rule book, break it up into little pieces, and stick it on each individual card. There's your rules. I'll tell you one more negative. I hate the fact that they've taken away customizing characters, but that doesn't mean they're not going to bring it back. Now, back to the positives. These rules are going to continue to come out. It's going to be, I think it's going to be good. It's also going to tie into the FAQs. Games Workshop is no doubt in this to make money. And you look at 40K, they have new books coming out every friggin' month. Every month. Some of them are campaigns. Some of them are new units. That's another thing. They release a unit, not an army, a unit with rules, and you can buy it and use it. And that's awesome. I mean, that's something to keep it fresh, keep it going. You buy your new Orcs and Goblins, you don't have to wait 7 years to get a new Orcs and Goblins book. No, you get a new unit in a few months maybe. So, I think also in that are going to be your FAQs, rules fixes, and not to mention all the rules are free now. That's something. No more $80 rule book and $45 army books that are going to go away and be obsolete soon. Now, your FAQs, Okay, let's say they didn't realize some of this stuff. Okay, not being able to dispel a spell unless you're 18 inches. Let's say they see the complaints and they say, you know what, that is bad. Let's take 20 minutes out of our day, change the rule, make it 24 inches or maybe table wide, hit upload, it goes to their website, and then they send out a little email or whatever saying, hey, rules edition 1.1, and you go hit download and you got the rule book updated. And now that problem is fixed. The 1/3 thing, maybe everybody's talking about wounds, maybe they change it. All they got to do is type it up, click a button, and your rule is fixed. People are going to say, well, Games Workshop doesn't do that. Well, they don't go to all these conventions either. They don't do, but they are now. They're going out, they're meeting people, they're trying to talk to the community, and it looks like they're trying something different. And yes, the game may suck right now compared to 8th edition, but by the time it gets to version 3.5 or 4.2, whatever it is, they may have changed all these rules, changed all these things. Hey, high elves get a new unit. Well, guess what? Go click download, and you got all the rules for that new unit and their new rules. We added some psychology rules that seemed necessary. Go click download, you got it, free. That's not bad. Continuous rules releases is not bad. That's where a game comes from. That's why Warhammer Fantasy went from 6 factions to 13 factions, I think it was. They're probably this $75 book that's coming out is probably going to have many different types of comp systems and scenarios. And no, I would not buy a book of scenarios. Forget it. But if they have comp systems to make different ways to make the game enjoyable and playable and fair, then yeah, there goes a big portion of everybody's complaints. And if you haven't burned your army or thrown it in the trash or stomped on it or sold it on eBay or all that stuff, if you haven't done that with your army, then you might be able to just pick it back up and jump back in and enjoy your game. It might be a really good game. It's probably not right now, but it might be again. I'm going to continue with it. It's not that I am, as some people are saying, not necessarily about me because I've been silent so far. I'm not a fanboy of Games Workshop. They do something dumb, I don't like it, I point it out, and I won't buy it, or I won't do it. And I'm not saying that I'll stay no matter what. If they leave Age of Sigmar alone just like it is and say, play this for the next 10 years, yeah, I'm going to move on. I'm not going to sit there and play something that's not complete. And that's how I feel about Age of Sigmar. It's not complete. I really think they're going to listen to the community and fix it and change it and go along when they agree. They're not going to let you build a game for them, but they're going to agree with some and disagree with others. And I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to continue to I'm going to play it. I've got some games lined up. And I'm going to start trying this game. Fair, balanced lists, have a good time. I've heard William Page say he's going to continue on with it. That's cool. I'm glad to see somebody else on YouTube that's not going to just bail and run. Lonehammer enjoyed it. I think he's going to keep playing, but I don't think he's going to be doing any kind of bat reps or anything because of the negativity that everyone throws at him for liking something that they don't. There was somebody else too that liked it. Besides, Once Bitten said he was going to try it. He's going to play it and try and make the best of it. But I can't think. Oh, Nerdhammer, casual, liked it, but he said the rest of his gaming group did not. And but hopefully that'll change and they'll work out some comp and something like that. And I'm usually anti-comp, but not this. But anyway, look for some bat reps coming up. Should have a couple this week, maybe 2, possibly 3 this week. I'm hoping anyway. Watch for the painting stuff. I'm going to paint it my guys, use some stuff, and make some cool new stuff. And thank you for listening. If you haven't unsubscribed from me, I think my subscriptions have still gone up, and that's cool because I have neglected you guys for a long time. Not that you just live for my posts, but I appreciate every one of you, and hopefully we can turn this into something. Might even start a new community on YouTube for Age of Sigmar and do something with it, since everyone else is bailing and running to War Machine and Kings of War. Um, who knows? Maybe this will turn into something good and they'll all want to come back. But until then, thanks for listening. Hope I didn't bore you too long or too much, and I will see you very soon with some cool new content, some painting stuff, maybe some more tutorials. I'm really working on trying to get that going to where I can do tutorials better. And don't forget, I do a commission service. I turn out several projects at once. I do work alone. I had some people that help, but it just gets complicated, so I do work alone. So feel free to email me at unleashedwargaming@gmail.com to ask about projects, how long it'll take, all that sort of stuff, and then give you an idea of where I am. And thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and hopefully this will go on for quite some time.